For years, the ground beneath Pompeii had been shaking. The mountain towered over the city. A massive earthquake had already devastated the region years earlier. Yet on the day Vesuvius finally erupted, around 11,000 people went about their daily lives as if nothing was wrong. They had felt the earthquakes. They had seen the warning signs. But they had no idea they were living beneath one of the deadliest volcanoes in history. So how could an entire city fail to realize they were living beneath a volcano? Here's the part that should bother you. The Romans weren't missing the warning signs. They were interpreting them through the only worldview they had. The Romans had no scientific concept of a volcano. To them, Vesuvius was simply a mountain, and by all appearances a very good one. The ancient geographer Strabo praised its extraordinarily fertile slopes, where rich volcanic soil produced abundant crops. No one looked at that landscape and saw danger. They saw prosperity. 17 years before the eruption, in AD 62, a devastating earthquake struck the region. But the Romans had explanations that made perfect sense to them. Some believed the gods were angry. Others blamed powerful underground winds trapped beneath the earth. What they did not believe was that the mountain itself was waking up. Instead of abandoning Pompeii, they rebuilt it. In fact, when Vesuvius erupted in AD 79, parts of the city were still being repaired from the earthquake 17 years earlier. They were fixing the damage from the last warning, while the next one was already unfolding. The Romans weren't ignoring the evidence. They simply lacked the knowledge to connect it. Every warning sign fit neatly into the worldview they already understood. And if the earthquakes weren't enough to convince them, the mountain itself offered almost no reason to fear it. But here's the most surprising part. Vesuvius didn't look like a deadly volcano at all. It looked peaceful, fertile, beautiful. Nothing about it suggested that within hours, it would destroy an entire city. Now about those final hours, because this is where the tragedy becomes almost unbearable. In the days before the eruption, the tremors that had shaken the region for years grew more frequent. But to the people of Pompeii, there was still no reason to believe the mountain itself was about to erupt. Across the bay, Pliny the Younger witnessed something extraordinary. He described the enormous cloud rising above Vesuvius as resembling an umbrella pine, its trunk rising high before spreading into a broad canopy. It remains one of the most accurate eyewitness descriptions of a Plinian eruption ever recorded. He described exactly what he saw. What he could not describe was what it meant. His uncle, Pliny the Elder, one of the most educated men in the Roman world, did not flee. He sailed toward the eruption, driven by curiosity and a desire to rescue people along the coast. Even one of Rome's greatest scholars did not immediately recognize the true scale of the disaster. When the first pyroclastic surges swept across the landscape, escape became almost impossible. Superheated clouds of ash, gas, and rock raced down the mountain faster than anyone could outrun. That is the real lesson of Pompeii. The warning signs were always there. But a warning is only a warning if you understand what it means. The people of Pompeii were not foolish. They were trapped by the limits of the knowledge their civilization possessed. Pompeii wasn't destroyed because its people ignored the warning signs. It was destroyed because they simply didn't understand what those warning signs meant. Subscribe to Empire Atlas for more stories that explain not just what happened, but why it happened.